In this video, I'm going to be showing you how we're going to go about arranging our buttons for our audiobook log application. Now, if you remember our application, you should remember that we had 5 buttons in the center, and when we clicked on any one of those, it would play the appropriate chapter's audio. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to go about setting up the structure for our buttons, and then lastly, we're going to put our buttons in each one of those structures. Great, so let's get started. First off, I'm going to grab a vertical arrangement. And these are the structures I was kind of talking about. So I'm going to grab that vertical arrangement and I'm going to place it inside our viewer. Then I'm going to modify a few properties of that vertical arrangement. The first one is going to be the height. I'm going to set that to exactly 100 pixels. So remember, when I set something to 100 pixels, or rather any arrangement to a set amount of pixels, it will force it to be either that wide or that high. So in this case, it's going to be exactly 100 pixels high. Then I'm going to modify the width to say fill parent. And what that will do is it'll force our vertical arrangement's width to be exactly, or rather, as large as our screen, because our screen is currently containing it. Great. From there, I'm going to go to my user interface in my palette section, and I'm going to drag a button in. And when I do that, you'll notice our button kind of gets shoved to the top left. Well, if we remember our application, you'll remember that our buttons are right in the center, right? So what I want to do is I want to go to my vertical arrangement and I want to shift my horizontal alignment. So right now it's in the left side, but I want it to actually be in the center. So now we kind of have our basis for our structure of our buttons. The one thing we want to do though is we actually want to change how our button looks. So I'm going to click on button. And I want to actually put a background image on that button. So the way we do that, remember, is we go to upload file and we upload whatever image we want. In my case, it's this one right here. I'm going to click open and then OK. And then you'll notice it's uploaded now, right? I have that play button.png right here. And I'm going to click on image, then play button, that one I just uploaded, and OK. So now it's replaced. The only problem is our text is overlaying the image. So I want to just get rid of it. So I'm going to go to that text property of our button and just notice that we're modifying the properties of our particular button, right? We have this one selected. I'm just erasing the text for that button. And I'm going to press enter. And now everything looks the way it should for our button, right? This is one of our little structures. So if you'll notice, in our application, we had 4 more of these structures, right? We had 5 buttons total. So it would be really easy if we could just duplicate this structure, right? This vertical arrangement. But unfortunately, App Inventor 2 doesn't allow us to duplicate components. So we have to make the same structure 4 more times. But before we do that, I want to modify one property in our screen component. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click on scrollable. So scrollable essentially just allows us to be able to scroll if we have too many components in our viewer. And I'll show you what that means in just a second. Right now though, I'm just going to create the exact same structure, right? This vertical arrangement with a button inside of it 4 more times. So I'm going to go to my layout and I'm going to just drag and drop 4 more vertical arrangements in. 1, 2, 3, and there you have it. You see so this is where I can demo that scrollable component. So right now I could scroll up and down. If I were to go to my screen and unselect scrollable, you'll notice that that scrollable little handlebar on the right disappears. So I'm going to make sure that that's selected, and I'm going to drag in one more vertical arrangement. So I'm going to drag it in, making sure that each one is right below the last. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I just want to modify the properties of each one of these. Oh, one of them is a table arrangement on accident. Make sure that you don't do that, right? You always want to make sure that you drag in the appropriate component, not the one above it as I did. So I'm going to delete that and I'm going to drag in the actual vertical arrangement here. And there I did it again. Just can't catch a break today. So I'm going to grab the hopefully vertical arrangement. There we go. Great. So now I'm going to modify each properties of the vertical arrangement to look exactly like this one here. So I'm going to say, center, 100 pixels, and then fill parent. I'm just going to do that 3 more times here. Center, 100 pixels, fill parent. And it doesn't matter which order we do this in. We just need them all to look exactly the same. So center, 100 pixels, fill parent. Great, so now we have each one of those vertical arrangements lined up correctly. Now we just need to drag in our buttons as we did right here. So I'm going to just say, button in here, button in here, button in here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit and then a button in here. And then I'm just going to modify each one of these. So I'm going to erase the text, select the appropriate image. I'm going to do that for each one, but instead I'm just going to select them rather in my component section because it's a little bit easier for me. So remember, we can select it either in our viewer or in our component section. So then I'm going to select play button, and I'm going to do that one more time. Erase my text, select play button, and then one last time. So I'm going to erase my text and then select play button. And now you'll notice that we actually have 5 buttons, one on top of the other, and we're getting a lot closer to how our actual application looks. Great, guys. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.